I'm really excited to teach this to you. It's all about flow living and living with your cycle. And when you really embrace that, it's amazing. Like, I now feel so much more empowered. I feel like I have more energy because I'm working with my body and not against it. I also know certain foods and feelings that, may arise, and I do certain activities at certain times of the month to really preserve my energy. So it's just fantastic. And, it's not a new concept, but it's one that's definitely not taught. I've only recently discovered it. I do believe that it should be taught, maybe the concept in high schools, but maybe we're not quite ready for that yet. But definitely in your late 20s to early 30s, it's definitely something that women can definitely embrace. So as you guys know, women cycle on average 28 days. And during that time, your hormones are at all different levels, your energy peaks are at different levels, your mood, all of the things. So when that's all going to happen regardless. So we're better off to understand it and work with it if it's going to happen anyway. If you don't have a cycle, if you're on the pill and you have like a pseudo cycle, if you have the Mirena, if you are menopausal, if you have been through menopause, like all the things. If you're not cycling, you can actually sync yourself with the moon. And so this is all scientific backed. As you guys know, I love the science, but basically our bodies are made up of 60% water. And as you know, the moon controls the tides, even ponds of water and rivers and things like that, they all have a tide as well and a gravitational pull with the moon. You guys would know that on a full moon, there's more psychotic episodes, more accidents. ER is a bit more crazy. It all, if you don't have a cycle, you can tie everything in with the moon. If we were to get rid of all of our artificial lighting and spent more time outside in nature with the moon, it's called moon bathing, you can actually sync your cycle back with the moon, which is something that you might like to do. All you need to do is spend some more time out in the moon and set the intention that that's what you're trying to do. So most people either ovulate with the full moon or menstruate on the full moon, and then the rest do vice versa. Like when they get their period, they either are full moon or new moon. So most people ovulate on a full moon, which is really cool to know. Away from artificial lighting, if you're spending a lot of time with artificial lighting, you might find that your body is a little bit more out of whack. So that's something really cool to know too. So our body is affected by water. It affects our hormones, affected by the moon because we're water. It affects our hormones in so many different ways. We can sync our cycles back up if we want to. Males actually have a cycle too. They cycle every 24 hours. So there's 4 seasons in our cycle, 4 different seasons, and they cycle all of that in 24 hours, which I'm sure you will just be like, yes, they do. Whereas we do that more over the 28 days on average. But we have different stages in our cycle. Like we're either fertilized, like we're either fertile, we're menstruating, we're leading up to either of those, and our hormones are at all different levels during those times. Yet we expect our bodies to be able to do all the things and be productive all the time. So that's why I'm going to teach you about the different stages of your cycle. Now, I only tracked mine for 3 months, and all of a sudden I was like, day 12, that's what I do. Day 12, that's how I am. Or day 25, okay, that's how I am at day 25. All right, I'm going to plan to do less catching up with people at those times because I'm not going to feel it as much. I'm probably going to go a little bit inward, maybe do a bit more journaling, a bit more planning, things like that. So I'm going to teach you the different phases and some of the activities that you can do during those different phases. You'll also have a PDF that I've put together just to, at a glance, look at the different phases. So it's just like a memory jogger. You'll also get a bit of a tracker so you can track your cycle as well, and get to know your cycle, because what I'm going to speak to you guys about in the coming videos is a generalization of what happens through a cycle. So everybody is going to be different. So it's really important that you actually track you and get to know you, because what happens for me will be a little bit different to you and to you and to you. So, but in general, I'm going to talk about what's happening. You'll also receive recipe books for the different phases in your cycle as well. So when you need the more comforting, nourishing kind of foods, I've got you covered with that too. So yeah, it's just going to be a lot of fun. And as I said to you guys, this is all happening regardless of if you decide to work with it or work against it. It's still going to happen. Your body is going to have these ebbs and flows and these cycles. It's going to happen. So if we embrace it and we actually work with it, it can be such a powerful thing. And it's nearly like a permission slip, not a permission slip to go, whoop, got my period, it's time to just buckle down and just do nothing. It's not that at all. It's more, okay, I know that I'm going to be a bit more flatter in the energy stakes at that time. So maybe I'm not going to organize to do that massive presentation then. Or maybe I'm not going to organize huge amount of social calendar at that time, because once you start to track it and you start to track your feelings along with it, you'll be like, oh, I really needed to spend just time with me and go inward at that time. Or, geez, I was good at that time. I was high energy, smiling at everyone, happy, like, you know, so maybe I need to organize to be more social at those times and things like that. So I'm going to run through that with you. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And I really do hope that you embrace it. And if you've got any tips or anything like that to share along the way of things that work for you, please do share with the group. Thanks, guys.